a live to do, but I wanted to do this video to go over some of an article that was put out about Ron and Jan's bankruptcy. I want to give my thoughts about Gingras's arrest, footage, and happy Friday, Rochelle. And wanted to go over the minutes from the hearing that they had that Rob showed up to, but had the wrong courtroom and stuff like that. So that is kind of what we're going to do. I don't know if I'm going to play the video because as much as I want to, I cannot have Gingras going after my channel again. Like, I cannot deal with like another strike. Because it's 3 strikes and you're out and your channel is wiped for good. And so many of people, and I know he's like not necessarily tried to strike channels, but he has put in for, I don't know if it's even considered a strike, but for privacy things. And so I want to address that as well. So let's get to it. All right. So I want to bring that up. Share screen. Okay. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're on replay, crew, welcome. Love you guys too. And comment down below your thoughts about anything and everything. Subscribe, share, all of that stuff that is free and always helps people out. So let's change this. I feel like something has changed in the background of StreamYard for some reason. I must have missed the pack of Marlboros thing. I haven't seen video 2. I need to go. Well, I haven't seen all of video 2. I saw all of the first one. I watched it on Lauren's channel and stuff. But Gingras is, of course, not happy about it. And as much as I would have loved him to kind of be like Laura in this situation, where he would be like, oh, if the crew gets a hold of it, that harass me and it ends up online, I swear, and all that. Like, he should have known. But I think he was also, I think he also knew, oh, great, they're going to have a field day with this in the back of his mind. And so whether in the back of his mind he was like, okay, I am not going to give anybody a reason to see anything I'm doing as crazy. So he acted like he kind of gave us an example of kind of almost what you should do if you are I mean, you should never be in that situation, at least as far as driving while intoxicated or under the influence of anything. But if you ever get pulled over, I know there's lots of different, I guess, laws or views or things about the field sobriety tests, but like, I don't think that I would want to take the field sobriety test. Because if you're a person that doesn't have great balance, like maybe your equilibrium is off, maybe you even take meds for that, things like that, um, or you're kind of just dopey and not coordinated anyways. And the thing is a lot of those tests are just kind of based on the perspective of the officer who's doing it. And to me, they can come up with anything that says, "No, you're suspicious of this." And so by relying on the breathalyzer because they do it twice, and by relying on the blood test, and yeah, it can be a delay tactic, but they can just retroactively go back to the time. Um, we saw them do it in the Karen Reed case. Like, it's not fully accurate, but, you know, there wasn't that much, and he still blew over. So, yeah, and the FSTs are just ridiculous, and so the thing is while, yeah, they can use that against you let's take this down for a minute. While they can use that against you in going after you for like DUI or if you were under the influence of drugs, because I've seen them go, well, if it's not alcohol because you blew a 0, you're under the influence of something, so it must be drugs. And then it comes back there were no drugs in the system either or alcohol, and so it's like, see, you're not doing things, and I've seen that. And so if I was a sober person, I would be like, rather just do the blood test. Like, let's go do the blood test, because that's not gonna lie. Um, and then if any of you watched MG Law, I don't know if it's last week or the week before, apparently don't drink a bunch of vanilla extract either. Learned about the alcohol and that you could get drunk and college girl wasted on vanilla extract. But if you haven't been drinking and you're not under the influence, the thing is all they're gonna have to go against you is to bring a case is gonna be like, well, they refused the FSTs, but their blood test came back normal with nothing positive, and their breathalyzer came back as 0, all the times we did it. And so and I also would have taken the, other tube of blood, and gone and got it tested, but I also, with my own people as well, so I would have taken that too, just to so that we have 2 different things, and they weren't tested at the same lab and all that stuff, because if the lab is gonna get the results wrong once on one vial, the possibility of getting it wrong on another vial is the same. Not that I think that it would. Like, I don't think they're, like, skewing the blood results in most places, but, you know, and then if you see that both results if they're both the same, okay, they were tested at different places, but if they're different, that's something too that you could fight against. But they're not gonna bring the like, if they bring the charge that, "Oh, she just refused, but everything else was this." And so you just have some officers like, "Well, I smelt this," or "I saw this," and it's like, really? There was nothing. So this time it was skewed. Yeah, you cannot do not when you're doing blood draws for DUIs, you need to make sure that they were using, like, iodine instead of an alcohol swab. That's why it needs to be in a place that does that type of blood draw, because if they use alcohol to clean there, like, when they do IVs, a lot of times they use the alcohol, um, swabs before they start an IV. They can't do that in a blood draw, for DUI stuff. And so that is that is the thing with some of this stuff. So, while I don't necessarily disagree with any of that stuff that Gingras did, I don't. I think, he shut up, which is good. Um, don't help people convict you. I think he still did a little too much, but, um, he pretty much just shut up, acted right, you know. Yeah, the saying, "How much have you had to drink?" and the "I'm fine," it's like, "Sir, that wasn't the question," is something in itself, but, he wasn't, and instead of arguing, he could say, like, "I already told you how many I had to drink, and I'm not gonna go back and forth with you of you asking me how much, and I tell you this, and then you're like, 'Well, how many have you really had?'" Because they did ask him multiple times how much you've had to drink, and his story did change. None, or it was hours ago, and it was 1, and then it was 2, but he still drank a lot of water, and she was telling him, um it's usually the orange swab, not the white swab. Even for drugs, they'd need to not use a white swab. Huh. But also at the same time, I feel like the alcohol swab, it might, but I would like to know how much the alcohol swab really does affect the number. Because if you're, like, way over, I don't think the alcohol swab did the thing. But if you're, like, right on the line of, like, a .08, maybe you're a point oh, I don't know, 9 or oh 0.87, you know, maybe that alcohol swab, so I would like that was something I need to look I wanna look into and see how much the alcohol swab really can do. And then, like, if he would have had a cold, like, taking cold medicine, you're not supposed to drive on, like, some, like, NyQuil and stuff. So, um, but I understood where he's like, "I'm not gonna go, like, back and forth, I'm not gonna argue with you," like, when there wasn't any arguing going on. I understood what he was trying to say, it just was not great for that moment, and just the "I'm fine" when you're not answering the question. Um, and now of I can't even think of what that objection is. Non-responsive, objection non-responsive. And but his friend was a hoot. His friend was having the best time of his life. Like, they had all the fun. And I'm sorry. Okay, maybe if you're a sober person and you just don't drink, but we know Gingras is not that type of person. But if you're going out and your friend is sloshed, I am sorry. You are not just not gonna drink the entire time. Now, maybe Gingras it does look like Gingras had less, or maybe Gingras had, like, a beer or some wine or something, and maybe a margarita or something, but his friend maybe was drinking, like, shots and hard liquor. Who knows? Obviously, one held the liquor better than the other, and Gingras shouldn't have been driving, plain and simple. At Call an Uber, and this should be a plan. If you're going to dinner and you've probably been to dinner with this friend every time they come to town or anytime y'all get together, you know that you go and eat and have some drinks, okay? You should, especially knowing that you've had a DUI before, and you should have planned, "Hey, let's just take, an Uber from the hotel to the restaurant or and back." Or maybe we drive there, but we take an Uber home or back to the hotel, and then we can just come back and get our cars the next day, you know? And that's what should have been done. But his friend forgetting the hotel, like, they don't even know. Like, we were coming from Scottsdale. "Sir, you're in Scottsdale." Um, that was pretty funny. But his friend just was like and then him getting out of the car and then going back into the car, like, it's definitely funny, and y'all should go watch it, on all the streamers' channels that have watched it because his friend is the entertaining one. I do like that there is the lesson about the metabolism and the speed at which your body breaks down things, and I think it also has to do with Gingras isn't like a big guy. Um, Laura would probably get hammered really easy too. Um, if you compared her to somebody else. Um, Smaller people are not just they're just not gonna handle it very well sometimes. It's always cheaper, and a cab was a cab was kinda expensive. And so but now it's just so easy not to do because Ubers and Lyfts are cheaper than cabs were. And so, I mean, hell, find the quickest place and just stay there. It's just so much safer for you and everybody else. Um, and it's just it's just so selfish to do. And in this day and age, it's just so easy not to do. And I feel like because of Uber and Lyft, there are way fewer people out there drinking and driving, which is great. I think there needs to be more. But yet, no, you're not gonna be able to take I think it's funny that Uber and Lyft is not picking you up from jail, but a cab company will. That's weird to me because I know at a hospital, they used to not allow it. Although I have overheard in, like, the ERs that, yes, cabs were so expensive. Um, and there was one time I did have to take a cab home from an ER, and that thing was so expensive. Oh, it was so expensive. This was before Ubers and Lyfts, and I forget why. I think it was because I don't remember if it says we didn't have a car, or our car was broke down, or maybe I just could not get a hold of my boyfriend at the time, or my, fiancé, whatever he was back then. I don't remember why I had to take it, but I did. And God, it was so expensive from the hospital. And I didn't get a voucher. They didn't offer me a voucher, nothing. Because now they'll sometimes give you a voucher. And surgeries, they won't give you that. Heck, surgeries now, they're like, you have to have a person here with you your entire surgery if it's an outpatient surgery. Like, they're like, your person has to be here the entire time. Because it used to be they could just drop you off and pick you up. And now they're like, no, we need to hear somebody here throughout. Unless you're inpatient, and then you can be alone. So weird. But as I was saying, like, a lot of, like, Gingras, to me, did it right. He didn't say much. He needed to quit saying he was an attorney, which I don't know why they kept blacking that out on the police report. Damn. That's expensive, Rochelle. Oh, but today I also, but all that to say that I think Gingras did fairly decent. And he just acted, I think he just acted calm and normal and rash. But, I'll say my story, and my dealing with a police officer today for the end. But let's get back to, so Gingras does not like the video being out. I don't know why he cares. Because the police report and everything else is out there as well, and it's basically, a lot of it was verbatim, or the stuff that we knew was said because it was in the police report, which kudos to them writing a very good police report about the incident and what people said, and kind of like a transcript in the police report of the entire stop. So that was good. But he's not happy about this video being out. This video, to me, doesn't make him, I mean, it does make him look stupid just because he's getting a DUI and he shouldn't be drinking and driving. But aside from that, and everybody that needs to know about it knows about it. And so Schnitzel got a privacy complaint, which I don't know how this affects your channel. I think it said 5429, which makes me want to go to that exact place in the timeline. But, we would like to inform you that you have received a privacy concern about your content. Before we review the content, we would like to give you the opportunity to review it if necessary and modify or remove any potential private information with the reported content. I wish this would have just been done when David got mad about his exercising picture in his bedroom from him going to the gym or coming back from the gym, his gym selfie. Like, I wish he would have just done this. Because, or YouTube do this and be like, hey, can you remove the parts that are a problem, instead of being like, hey, here's a strike, 2 more and you're out. And, receiving this notice does not imply a violation of YouTube's privacy guidelines, and no action has been taken against your content or the channel at this time, which great for Schnitzel. But it still could, in the end, especially with the robots doing the things, could affect her channel. So let's go to this. I want to go to this timestamp real quick. And I wish I knew which part of the video. Okay. So he says 54:29 is where the privacy violation happens because you have to list where it happened. So video. Okay, hold on. Let's go to. Let's see here. Actually, let's just go to the transcript. Is there a transcript on this? No. No transcript. Well, dang it. I can't even. Okay. All right. So he said 54:29, which is the passenger interview. And Schnitzel needs to put transcripts on here. But I don't think there was ever any personal information that was given out. Um, and so the thing is like his name, but that's something he shares out there. And his face, which is out there, and he's put himself out there. Who cares if he's a smoker? I don't care. Um, it doesn't surprise me, especially some people, even though he's like he could just smoke when he drinks. Like there's people like that too. Good night, Israel. Give those babies lovin's. And congratulations again. But I don't think there was any privacy information that was given. We didn't get his address. I don't even think we got his date of birth. If we did, somebody can point that out because I don't remember seeing it. I just wish there was I just wish there was a video or a transcript, but there's no transcript set up for it. So, but yeah, it is expensive to fight a DUI. I mean, it's easily $10K. And so, and then here is the next part of it, is when it might violate. While most DUI videos remain online, a video can be removed or edited if it contains footage that clearly shows the driver's license number, home address, or phone number without being blurred. It can be flagged for personal identifiable information. We don't get a picture of his license in here. I don't believe. Let's see. If the arrest occurs inside a private residence, it didn't. Shows faces of minors. There were no minors in that vehicle. As far as we know, there were no minors in this vehicle. And then medical emergencies, beyond just being intoxicated, like if they were violent or graphic. Like, to me, none of this stuff is in those videos that Schnitzel did. And even if the thing is about this sensitive personal information, identifying information, PII, who is he to complain about his personal information being out there when he has doxed myself? He has doxed Lauren, Lethal Lauren, court of random opinion. He's doxed both of us. I don't know if he's doxed anybody else. But fuck you and your private information, David. Fuck you. Because you didn't give a damn about our personal information. But we're supposed to give a damn about yours. And I don't think any of that was out there in that video. I don't think we learned where David lived. But yes, definitely this, Jameli. Or Jameli. Rules for me, not thee. Oh, he doxed Maricini as well? Maricini or Mulvey? So, like, I don't know where Gingras lives. I don't think I even know his birthday, even with the documents out there. I might. But I know that Schnitzel is usually really good. Yeah, he did put the name out there of that other victim that we didn't know about. Which, I mean, he's in the investigative report and he's on the witness list now, but the thing is we wouldn't have known about him. Like, not his name. Like, we just knew there was another guy, which is all we really needed to know. And apparently there's multiple other guys. Hoboken's lucky that she decided the one time to never go to police. So I'm going to call the police on Instagram posts, but not when I've been raped and almost killed. Okay. Like, make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. She blurs and watermarks. I don't know how she does it because I don't know how to do any of that. I'm like, how do you blur a moving target? Like, I don't know how to do any of that. I want to go and take some classes on some video editing and stuff and learn, because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But mainly F you and your privacy to Gingras because he doesn't care about anybody else's. That pissed me off. Uh, and that's why I'm like, no, I don't think that um I just don't think that was needed. And it's why I don't want to show the video on my channel is because he's already done shit to me and I don't just need to have one strike left and then everything is taken away from me and Jingers is responsible for it. Now, I don't agree with the reason that Jingers's content got taken down. I don't know who reported him for that particular thing. I don't know why he didn't fight back on it or whatever. I guess it wasn't that important to him, but like the nudity and thing that they said, like that's not on his channel. Like I said, I'm gonna call it like I see it. Like I don't there was a bunch of other things I didn't agree with, and I think he should have had some stuff taken down. But the reason his channel got removed is not accurate. And so that's how you know that like some of this YouTube stuff where they're like, "Oh, you made a violation or you should be struck." Um it's a hit or a miss. And I don't have a way with words like Ricada has a way with words when he writes strongly worded, rude, um if y'all Ricada has some pretty legendary like responses to YouTube when they've tried to like take down stuff of his that are pretty funny. Um Reality Steve and Rachel Juarez did an episode this week over on Reality Steve's podcast. We also had, which I'm kind of glad somebody did it, because like I was saying, when we broke down Laura's video of her Medium blog post, she needed somebody to check on her. She does, especially right now while she's facing possible prison time. And I think she's going to have to be really closely watched if and when she does. Randazza was Racket's lawyer in the crap, I cannot think of what his name is, but the defamation case. Randazza was. That's how I know of Randazza, is that and from like the stuff that was going on in the Karen Reed trial. Randazza represented a lot of the protesters that were outside and that were getting dinged for shirts and no, it wasn't. It was the weird, creepy dude. I cannot think of his name. I don't remember his names. And that dude was creepy. Like, and I actually don't think that Rackets or Ricada should have gotten in trouble for saying it because to me, based on things that you can learn about that dude, it's not a foregone conclusion. It doesn't surprise me that he picked her back up for the bankruptcy because they're still close for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know why he put his eggs all and the guy he was talking about, the watermelon dude. And he made He was creepy and gross. He reminds me of somebody from, like, that would be, like, friends with, like, Lynette Preston is probably who he would be friends with. Um, but somebody was worried about Laura once again. And it seems as much as she's like, "Oh, they wanna see me dead, and they won't be happy until, I off myself and do all this stuff," when it seems like we are actually the only ones worried about her well-being. She says it's because of us. No, it's because of your actions, but your parents and your bestie dingus. No, it's not Ethan Klein. Um, I don't even know. Like, it's the guy that created, like, the snuff films and stuff. I know it's gonna bug. It's gonna bug because there's so many people. Um, dang, that's just really gonna bug me that I cannot think of that dude's name. But we're the only ones that seem to give a crap about Laura and her well-being. So, oh, that's just not a great. That's not a great share at all. Still can't. But somebody called a wellness check on her and said and the person that lives in the pool house and the main house, they said the main house is also occupied. And this was on January 14th, 2026 at about 3:30 in the afternoon, Arizona time, which I don't know when she posted the article, but they gave Laura's name, and it says that the person is calling from out of state, and they are stating that they are a true crime person following blogs, and says that Laura has posted some unaliving ideations, not eating, 23 pages posted about how she wants to die, or that, and then uh, request is a wellness check on the subject due to the posts with no firsthand knowledge of the subject. So then they go, um, start the call. It says the source for this data report is obtained from Scottsdale Police Department. This is just the CAD sheet. And then there was no firearms or law enforcement needed. It lists the people who, I guess, responded or dealt with it. Search completed. We'll call report. Blind run of POSS date of birth. Something information event was viewed. Start call. Start up with a call. We're gonna need more information, but we just know that there was a wellness call that was. Nope. You're not right. There's so many. It's not uncivil either. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I forget what this dude's name was. Defamation lawsuit. His name is Steve Quest, who also went by Montegraph. Monty. That's who. Montegraph. Monty. Steve Quest. The days of that. Some of that stuff was funny. Like, that was before he was doing all the stuff that, took him down. But back before he was good. And Rekieta is one of those people that you either like or hate him. Like, there's things that he says that are out of pocket. I think he gives amazing toasts. Yeah, but Medicare. Not Medicare. What did I say? Medicare. Steve Quest. Montegraph. Yeah. Because Rekieta called him a predator. And that's where Randazza represented Rekieta. And the reason I know the defamation happened after death and after Rittenhouse, but the reason somebody brought up Randazza is because it seems like Randazza and Gingras know each other and are acquaintances or something. And it was shocking to us that Randazza would be okay with somebody with the likes of Gingras. But Randazza is a big First Amendment person, and, Gingras likes to say he is, but Gingras was representing people for their First Amendment right. He just doesn't believe in it in this case for some reason. It's all about privacy, guys. Hello, Snow Wonder. All right, so we did the CAD sheet for that. And then apparently Rich Lieberman is back. Which I guess I'm glad he's doing better, because he wasn't doing great. And then I forgot to send myself these things. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me send myself these two photos. Okay. So let's go over the minutes. No, I don't know if I've ever watched a full video of Rich's, which sounds bad, but I haven't. I get summaries of what he says. Okay, so C4 means all clear, means they actually made contact with her this time, hopefully. Yeah, I hope so too. But we will get to we'll get to see what goes on at it, or we'll possibly get the breakdown of the body cam footage or something like later. Oh, that's not what I want to present. All right, so let's bring up the minutes from the hearing the other day that they had in her Laura Owens criminal case. My video sharing today is just god awful. Like, y'all can't see any of these things that are happening, I don't think. But, all right. This whole video has been mumbled and jumbled. Okay, so they had Popko, which Popko was the guy that was on the sheet. And they listed that Popko was going to take care of this hearing back when they made the schedule for a lot of things. So this was done on January 23rd, and then they filed these, minutes or whatever on the 26th of January. The matter was set for a non-appearance initial pretrial conference on January 21st, 2026. It is ordered that defense counsel advise their client of all future hearing dates as set forth below. The parties have filed an initial pretrial conference statement. The court finds / orders as follows. The state has filed notices as required by Rule 15B. The state has provided / made available the objects required by Rule 15.1B. The defense has filed notices as required by 15.2B and 15.2C. Any request to extend the deadline set this date must be done pursuant to Rule 15.6D. Failure to request an extension may result in the preclusion of evidence, the matter having been previously designated complex, and let's go to the next page. And then, all right. No. That just showed my Facebook. Okay. Let me go back here. All right. Now we'll get back to sharing. And so it says its order affirming complex case management conference, comprehensive pretrial conference on February 25th, 2026 at 8:45 a.m. in front of Judge Reuter. It is ordered affirming the final trial management conference on July 22nd, 2026 at 8:45 a.m. before Judge Reuter. It is ordered affirming the trial assignment date on 7/29/2026 at 9 a.m. before the master calendar assignment judge. The trial assignment hearing is in person for all lawyers and defendants. So Laura is not going to be able to appear virtually. Because if she's found guilty, they need to arrest her. They're going to need to arrest her, at least for her sentencing, because she won't get arrested. She won't get arrested that day, which she won't get arrested. If she's found guilty, she will get arrested and detained the day of sentencing, not before then, I believe. They might take her in after the guilty, but because she's out, I don't know that she'll actually been taken into custody until she's actually sentenced. Let's see. The parties should contact the trial assignment division prior to all trial assignment date to request to appear virtually. The purpose of the hearing is to set dates for 1, the trial procedure conference, and 2, the jury selection date, which as of right now, if they have it starting around July 29th, that means that they are going to be let's go to the calendar. That means they could start picking the jury like Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and then they could start the trial maybe on August 3rd. But we shall see because they got to pick the jury. Why do I keep doing that? Yeah, I knew he had some health problems, and was dealing with that. So it's glad to see that he's back and as energized as ever. Okay, back to this once again. I don't know why I keep clicking off of it. All self-represented litigants shall appear in person at the trial assignment date unless otherwise ordered. All in-custody defendants shall be transported unless otherwise ordered. As of right now, she's not in custody. I don't expect her to be in custody by the time trial gets here, because she would have had to violate something. Should the trial assignment judge approve a virtual appearance, the assignment judge's division will email parties instructions and link to join the court connection thing. They can also join by this. The last day that this could go to trial is August 29th, 2026. And then if an interpreter is needed for any victims or witness or for anybody else, let the court know 48 hours in advance of a scheduled hearing, and then 10 business days if it's a language other than Spanish. And so that is Laura's stuff. So just a bunch of like normal lawyer pretrial conference stuff, just logistics and scheduling, which a lot of it is. There doesn't seem to be any argument right now in motions, but eventually there will come a time when there's motion in limine and all of that stuff. Probably a motion to dismiss, or motion for summary judgment or whatever. Just a bunch of motions will come as we get closer to trial. And then what's this one? As if I'm going to be able to. I don't know why victims of Laura Owens does not like my computer. It hates my computer. Yeah, it just hates my computer all the time. All the things. I just can't and the thing is I want this to be a case where Laura cannot take an Alford plea. Yeah, I know it's Greg's fault. But Laura can't take an Alford plea, which means that she's not admitting guilt, but she's admitting that the state has enough evidence to convict her. Like, I don't want her to be able to take an Alford plea. I also don't want her to be able to plead no contest. I want her to have to say that she is guilty of things. And so that is what I want. I don't want any of these half-ass plea deals. But at the same time, like, I just do not I don't know why she thinks she can beat this. I just don't know how she thinks people are gonna buy this because nobody thus far has believed her. Like, it'd be one thing if you had some people out there convinced that has seen all the evidence, because I don't give a crap about those people that have been lied to and have not seen everything, all the evidence in the case, right? Those opinions about Laura Owens don't matter to me. The dudes that she can still meet on Bumble that haven't seen anything about her, don't mean jack shit to me. And they eventually apparently find out after a few dates that she's crazy. Um, I am still she's just not gonna be able to the whole hacking thing doesn't make sense to me either, because, like, especially as many times as she has, like, different emails and things, and I don't think that she has the same password on a computer that she had before. Also, like, my computer, like, yeah, I can do a password, but my face unlocks my computer, and it's it's just not believable. Um, I still Diddy didn't do it, okay? Diddy didn't do it. Rex Huberman didn't do it. Um, Not saying either one of those guys are great, but they did not do anything to Laura. I wish we were able to still like, I wish I would have been a fly on the wall for that investigator after he interviewed Jan, because that shit is just so funny. Um, the hold me like I'm pregnant. Why wouldn't you just say, "Can you hold my belly?" It's just and she thinks Greg hacked her. They only went out on a couple of dates. I don't know when he would have had access to her computer, but she thinks that the random dude that got her phone put that on there, and that would have been maybe hacking the phone, but how would he have hacked the computer? And he put these things on there? Like, I it's just not believable. Nothing this woman says is believable. Okay, let's go to the article about Jan and Ron that Mercury put out today. I'm sorry if you hear my grunty pig in the background snoring. Uh, it's just crazy. All right. Which I was glad that Mercury kind of wrote the article and actually wrote some of the things, because I was worried that they were possibly going to not put the details fully in on this Mercury one. All right. So many ads. Let's see what this looks like today. Okay. So Ronn Owens loses bankruptcy bid amid daughter's paternity fraud case. Bay Area radio legend could face losing his Arizona home after a federal judge dismissed his Chapter 13 petition, while his embattled daughter also has declared bankruptcy. Yeah, Mercury is like, y'all are all suspicious. That's suspicious. That's weird. Then it's got the normal photo they like to put up. This is by Martha Ross, the Bay Area News Group. And see, they can use a picture that's... Oh, Ronn Owens, I guess, gave them that picture because it says photo courteous of Ronn Owens. So they didn't take it off. I guess they got his permission to use that. It was published at 1:48 Pacific time, and then they updated it at 5:18. So, So it says Bay Area radio legend Ronn Owens and his wife were dealt a legal blow this week. No, they weren't. It wasn't a legal blow. They decided they did not want to participate in the courts and the trustees' recommendations. They didn't follow court orders, just like their daughter does not comply with court orders and like trustees' recommendations. Like, they didn't file proper documentation, much like their daughter doesn't file documentation, but which could lead to the foreclosure of their home in Scottsdale, Arizona. Like, that's a thing, because Laura's not going to be able to go live somewhere else right now. Like, I don't know where she's going to live. Because she'd be like, well, I can't get a flight back. Well, no money. So the 80-year-old retired KGO AM 810 talk radio host and his wife, Jan Black Owens, Elizabeth Naylor, whatever her name is, have lost their bid via Chapter 13 bankruptcy filing to keep creditors from trying to collect on their reported $2.3 million in liabilities. They reported owing months of back mortgage payments for their home and more than $511,000 to more than 40 banks, credit card companies, and other creditors. On Monday, a U.S. bankruptcy court judge in Arizona dismissed Ronn Jan Owens' August 14, 2025 bankruptcy petition, saying the couple failed to fully comply with the recommendations made by the court-ordered trustee. Meeting these requirements was necessary for them to move forward with a plan that could allow them to keep their home. Why would you not want to do things to keep your home? And repay some or all of their debts over a 3 to 5 year period. Because it's going to get real interesting if they have to try to find somewhere else to live. I don't know who's giving them a loan for a down payment. They're going to have to just go rent if this house gets foreclosed on. And then they'll be like, see, and What's funny, but not funny, okay? Is Gingras talked about making people homeless in the JFC. Gingras said he was gonna make, like, Megan and Tug and, like, Legal Vices, like, homeless or Dave homeless. When Laura and her parents are going to be the ones that are possibly homeless. Okay, let me see this. It's ironic. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? This is interesting. A podcaster I watch is dealing with a Gingras type. He constantly gives her privacy concerns for sharing public court documents. She tells them what's happening and they unblock them over and over. Yeah, it's just something I don't wanna deal with. It's ridiculous, especially right now because I do not want people making the same mistake as I did. If you ever start a YouTube channel, I'm gonna tell you this right now. When you set up your Google Ads, do not put it down as anything other than individual. Do not put it down as an organization. Do not put it down as a business, even though it's technically a business, because it is going to cost you. Like my channel was monetized. I could be monetized. They took my monetization away because I made the mistake of putting business and not individual on my Google ad stuff. And now to get my monetization back, I have to go and pay $200 to $300 for the documents that YouTube or Google AdSense will accept to prove that I am the business. And you cannot go and change the type of account you have from business organization to individual. You can change it from individual to business, but you can't go backwards for some reason. There's no way to contact anybody to get this to change because I have tried everything. And I've even tried canceling the Google Ads thing and attaching a different one to my YouTube. I don't know. I haven't done it correctly. And then it almost sounds like I would just have to accept the fact that I'm not going to earn money off of my channel. Or I would have to completely close down this channel and restart another one. So it is going to cost me because they want like an EIN number or taxes filed under the business, which I don't have any of that. Or like your LLC paperwork or whatever. And they're the cheapest route that I have found, I have not found a cheaper one, is $200 to $300. And that to me might as well just be $1 million because I have no money. I'm so broke. But just letting y'all know, do not set it up as business or organization. Always choose individual. That is my little PSA for anybody that's thinking about it. I wish I would have looked into that more before I set that up because I screwed myself so badly. And I'd like to get back to monetization, but I have to work up to be able to pay the $200 and $300, you know? It's crazy. But back to Ron and Jan. All right. So a couple failed, could keep their home. That would allow them to keep their home and repay some or all of their debt over a 3 to 5 year period. That's pretty good. 3 to 5 years and you've got your debt repaid, all of it or some of it at least. And you can keep your home. Why would you not go for that? I have my theories. Says the news comes as their 35-year-old daughter, Laura, is separately preparing for a trial in July on 14 counts, felony counts, alleging that she targeted 2 Arizona men, including former Bachelor star Clayton Echard, with false pregnancy claims in 2021 and in 2023. Authorities in Maricopa County allege that Laura Owens initially wanted to press these men into relationships before pursuing court cases against them. Go away, Prince Harry. Laura Owens has pled not guilty and issued a statement last year saying she intended to meet these accusations head on, and I will defend myself fully and relentlessly through every process. Well, good for you and best of luck. All the best to you, Laura. All the best. Ronn Owens and Jan Black, a former KCBS news reporter, have offered public support to their daughter while trying their financial difficulties to her being investigated, prosecuted, and the target of what they say is a devastating online smear campaign. No, it is just people reporting on a case. That's it. And they're referring to YouTube journalists, online investigators, and Bachelor fans who began to extensively follow Laura's paternity claims against Clayton Echard, the 2022 star of ABC's The Bachelor, when they first became public in the fall of 2023. So dang, he was like a fairly recent Bachelor when she started targeting him. Like, I don't think I realized that he was that fresh off of The Bachelor by only like a year. Not even. Huh. In a pinned post at the top of his Facebook, Ronn Owens thanked his Bay Area fans and mentioned the threat of foreclosure. In a post, he called 2025 the roughest year of my life because of his bankruptcy, his serious health issues, a January 2025 police search on their home related to the investigation of Laura, the online criticism of his daughter and his family, as well as the legal charges against his daughter, the great mischaracterization of who she is and what she stands for. Get the fuck out of here, Ron. Get the fuck out of here. This is such bullshit. I do have a second channel. That I could use as a backup, that I was gonna use it as something different, but it's not monetized, and the thing is starting a new one is you have to make sure that, like, all 1,000 people, at least 1,000 people go and follow you over on your second channel if you close one down, and the 4,000 watch hours, which I ended up with the watch hours way before I had the subscribers. And so I don't even know how I would do that one. And I have like, I think I only have like 2 videos on that channel that have nothing to do with this case. Because I was gonna do some other stuff over there. And then, but I also have this passion over here for like justice and stuff. But Ron with his mischaracterization, where have we mischaracterized her? Criticism of your daughter and your family? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna criticize you for your wife bringing Diddy and Gilgo Beach into this. Yeah, we're gonna criticize. You knowing that you did not rub Laura's pregnant belly, it was your other daughter. You know, your favorite daughter, Ron, that you rubbed her pregnant belly. Because as if you could even rub Laura's pregnant belly, like Jan would, but not you. It's not a smear campaign. It's so much bullshit right there. And I'm sorry about your health issues. It does not give you the right to be a twat waffle. The threat of foreclosure and bankruptcy, that's your fault. People reporting and investigating Laura is Laura's and y'all's fault. The police search, y'all's fault. The charges against your daughter, Laura's and y'all's fault, or at least Jan and Laura's fault. Still Laura's, because even though I think Jan has a lot to do with it too, but everything other than your health is your own fault. And so, yeah, my other channel, I forgot what my other channel was called. Dang, I don't even. No, that doesn't have a channel. I have another channel. Maybe I deleted it. I know I've shared the video, one of the videos that I've done on there, but anyways. No, Jan isn't, or Ron isn't writing this stuff. It's just insane. And Owens also directed fans to consider contributing to a $140,000 GoFundMe campaign, which was originally launched in late 2024 to help Owens and Black alleviate the financial toll they initially said they had come about because of his profound health struggles, which included Parkinson's disease, heart trouble, and past bouts of cancer. I don't think with his insurance and his age, this should be something that he owes money for, his medical expenses. But since its launch, GoFundMe has faced scrutiny from Laura Owens' online critics who have questioned whether the money was actually being used to help pay for legal expenses related to her criminal defense and to her court battles against Eckerd, their second Arizona man, and the third man from San Francisco, whom she also accused of getting her pregnant. Both Laura and her pregnants have repeatedly denied that the money was going to her. Well, show receipts of what the money's going towards. Be transparent about it. Like, they could easily shut us up about this stuff, but they don't. They literally cannot, they just won't and can't prove us wrong. Like, not once have they proven us wrong about anything. The bankruptcy court's decision to dismiss the Owens bankruptcy petition made no mention of any controversy surrounding the couple's daughter. No, her bankruptcy will mention some of that. The trustee reported in December that the couple were delinquent in paying $15,600 monthly installments under their proposed repayment plan, which would have left them with what, $5,000 or so still a month out of their 21 whatever that they had. That still would have left them with $5,000 a month to play with. I would be so happy if I made $4,000 a month. But I can't work full time because of my medical issues, and so I can't do that. I wish I could work normal. They also need to provide completed and signed copies of all unfiled state and federal income tax returns, specifically for 2024, as well as any documents showing that they have zero value in several companies they reported owning. One company run with Laura, an equestrian leased and sold horses for showing jumping. Oh, this article says that the company was run with Laura. Yeah, I didn't see really many I didn't see like medical bills listed in the bankruptcy. If I filed for bankruptcy, that would be basically all of my bankruptcy. The medical bills. My medical bills are horrendous and it makes my credit awful. And so maybe that did. But I don't think medical bills are not, sadly, they are not at the top of people's priority list to pay. They're just not. I think some of it, the bankruptcy could have something to do with Laura. Yeah, Laura had an interest in it, whether she says she did or not. We know she did, and she knew she was listed as that. Unless Jan is writing all of her online things and her court filings, which she's not. Another company was for the self-help podcast that Jan Black and Laura Owens hosted until June 2025. See, that's not exactly, I don't think that's exactly truthful either, that they ran this podcast until June of 2025, because I would like to know when their actual last original episode ran. Okay, so this one says Julie McFadden was June 2025. Okay. Lauren says that they were doing like repeat episodes. Oh, they did an episode with Michael Easter? I wonder if that's the same. He's not. Okay, no, I don't think Michael Easter. It may not be the same Michael Easter, but what are the odds that it's another Michael Easter? My Karen Reed people, you will know the Michael Easter reference. There's like 99 episodes, so I wish you could do like a search. Maybe you can. Julie McFadden. Dang, that lady been on a bunch of podcasts. Mm-mm-mm. That one's just a once, so I don't know. Michael Easter was supposed to be like the rebuttal dog bite expert. But Judge Cannoni was like, no, absolutely not. I don't know if he's like a journalist person, so I don't know that it's the same Michael Easter, but it could be. All right. So they apparently did a podcast till June 2025. All right. In an email to this news organization in August, Jan Black said the ongoing online harassment had significantly impacted their ability to make money with such side ventures. Well, that's the consequences of your actions. Because maybe don't don't screw people over. They didn't seem to have much of a schedule. Well, they were putting out podcasts like almost every day for a while. Like there was like one every day or one every few days. And then that was even in 2024. Maybe that's when their stuff was doing the things, but yeah, it was like almost every day. And so to me, no, they weren't putting out podcasts. They weren't putting them out as often, if ever. They could have continued putting out podcasts. Who cares if nobody's supporting you and sponsoring you? Yeah, it's got to be a different Michael Easter. Yep, it says she had a job. Granted, this is a journalist saying this, but I feel like they spoke to Jan and Ron about this. She said that she and her husband were using them to supplement their monthly income from their pensions and Social Security. Their which makes me think that Ron has like Medicaid or Medicare. I don't which he wouldn't really have many expenses for out of pocket because of his age and his health. Their bankruptcy petition shows that despite their financial difficulties, they still make a monthly income of about $21,000 a month, which is fucking ridiculous that you can go bankrupt on that. Like, oh my God, the things that I could do with that amount of money. With half that amount of money. Like I said, $4,000, $5,000 a month, I would be living like a queen in my world. Jan Black did not respond to a request for comment about the bankruptcy dismissal and about whether she and her husband would refile. In 2020, the couple sold their home in San Francisco, Tony Seacliff neighborhood, for a reported $3.5 million and moved to Arizona after Ron retired from KGO after more than 40 years on the air. Oh my God, people listened to him for 40 years. As much of an asshole as he was. Laura moved with them into a casita on the property, which also included facilities for her to keep her horses. Oh, they're her horses now. Okay. Laura also is going through bankruptcy proceedings of her own and was declared indigent by the Maricopa County Superior Court for the purposes of getting a public defender to fund her defense. She is being represented by a court-appointed lawyer. Good. I want her to have a lawyer. I want her to have a good lawyer. I do. So that she has the fairest fight possible. It's just not going to help. In her December 8th, Chapter 7 bankruptcy filing, Laura Owens reported no income and no current employment. The bulk of her $263,000 in liabilities is the $196,260 in legal fees she owes to Eckerd, stemming from her unsuccessful attempt to prove in Maricopa County Superior Court that she became pregnant by Eckerd during their one and only date, May of 2023. All along, Eckerd has insisted there could be no pregnancy because there was no intercourse, only oral. The criminal charges against Laura Owens stem from her pregnancy claims against Eckerd and the second Arizona man, which it's interesting that they're not mentioning Greg's name here. Just 1 second, y'all. I'm going to get a drink real quick. Hello. Lauren, I don't know what you're doing right now. A Lauren and an Omar raid. Well, hello to all the Baconators. And the tilted people. Like, I don't know what Omar calls his people. Like, mine are ducklings. Lauren's, I call them the Baconators. Yeah, if Jan owes her half of the $17, correct. But she spent that to order her Dominoes. Us children. Well, I mean, you kind of are children, right? He's old. I don't even know how old he is. But we all know why she filed for bankruptcy. We called that she was going to file for bankruptcy, all that. But it's very interesting that they just say second Arizona man. Owens took both men to court to claim paternity and to obtain protective orders while saying that the purported pregnancies eventually end in miscarriage or abortion. Yeah, 20,000 times. And she's graped by everybody that meets her. I think Gingras is afraid of being accused of that. In the report, authorities also alleged that Laura Owens wanted the press to press men into relationships after they said they did not want to date her. With Eckerd specifically, authorities said she wanted to use his status as a TV personality to elevate her fame and increase her commercial value as a media personality herself. Yeah, because Eckerd could have come on and done a bunch of podcasts with them. Or her and Eckerd could have started a podcast of their own, right? Over several months after their encounter, Owens sent Eckerd some 500 emails. Jan says it wasn't 500. It was like only 100, not 500. I don't care what number it is. It's still ridiculous when somebody tells you to go away. And text message, the investigative report. They included proposals of a dating contract and offers to end the pregnancy. And if he agreed to an intimate relationship, when he refused, she began utilizing the media to damage Eckerd's reputation. The report also said she did so by giving an interview with the Sun tabloid by contacting one of the YouTubers, Dave Neal. They spelled his name incorrectly. Like, if you're going to write and mention star witness Dave Neal, you better spell it right. All right. Like, I think he's a little bit older than me, but I don't think I don't think Omar is that much older than me. And then, whom she later accused of leading a smear campaign against her, which it's funny. She didn't prove that in court. Laura Owens' trial is scheduled to begin around July 29th. Like I said, they're going to have to still pick a jury. The felony counts include allegations that she altered medical evidence, passed off the image of another woman's ultrasound and of her older sister's pregnant belly as her own, and gave false testimony in depositions or court hearings. During a June 2024 hearing against Eckerd, the court found out that she scheduled but canceled multiple appointments with practitioners for what she said was a high-risk pregnancy with twins, never sought in-person care after her purported miscarriage, and testified in court with a swollen abdomen that she was 24 weeks pregnant. I like that they said swollen abdomen because that is not how anybody that is pregnant describes it. That swollen abdomen comment has always gotten, it just rubs me the wrong way. Much like her Banner patient portal. Shortly after, she knew a test confirmed that there was no viable pregnancy. And that is the end of that Mercury article. Okay. Apparently, if you have diabetes, read that before it's removed. Okay. Don't ever click on those ads, people. Don't do it. So, swollen abdomen. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. So, they just bring all this on. But for my theory, I think part of their reason for not submitting documentation and not making their $15,000 payments that they need to make every month, I think that they didn't do it because there's some finances that they do not want people to know about, or like the federal courts or whoever. So I think they're still hiding things. Another thing is that with them doing bankruptcy, it makes it it makes it hard for them. They're not supposed to be paying Laura this money because Laura's needs are not considered assets or things that are needed to be paid, like groceries and things like that. Um, and it also gets it to where if they've pulled the bankruptcy, they can be like, "Oh, yeah, like, we pay for all of Laura's stuff." The problem is that Laura's parents' stuff is going to be Laura's parents' finances and the money that they pay for everything is gonna be brought into Laura's things because they need to know how she pays her bills and how everything has been paid these last several years. And if they've been supporting you and paying all your stuff, why can't they still support you and pay all your stuff? Good night, Snow Wonder. She is considered a dependent, and you can be a dependent as an adult. You can even file adults on your taxes if they're a dependent of yours and you're supporting them and they're not working or anything like that. It's not quite like a child tax credit, but you can do it. Uh, so I think it is once again, they're trying to hide things, but it's also a way that they think that they're trying to help Laura, but they're not really. I think it's still gonna get them in trouble. I just I don't buy the medical expense because I think that Ron's insurance has got to be good at his age and with his stuff. I I just don't see his medical expenses. I mean, they would be. Um, and maybe in his younger years of having Parkinson's and stuff like that, maybe those medical bills were bad then, but at his age now, I just don't see that. Um, so that's one of the things. But all of this stuff is stuff they brought on themselves. So, kind of as a summary of everything we went over tonight, fuck David Gingras and his DUI privacy concerns. Ron and Jan are out of their god dang minds about their daughter. Oh, they fully support her. Why? The the Mercury article like contradicts like a lot of things that Owens was saying in her meeting of the creditors, which we have the next meeting of creditors or whatever is on February 3rd. So what date is that? It was Tuesday. So that's coming up this week. Somebody did a wellness check on her. Right. Like his Medicaid, I think he has Medicare and it's just not. Oh, it's February 9th, not February 3rd. Dang it. Whatever date. It's coming up. Um so we'll have interesting stuff on that. And we went over the minutes and like when the jury stuff, all that stuff. So we went over a bunch of things. I will have it booked in chapters so that you can go to the different points. And now for the people that waited to hear my police interaction today. I got pulled over on my way home from work today. which is partly why I was late getting set up here. And they've have part of a road, like it's very weird, and I don't know why they yes, is my real crime story. I don't like the way that they have it because it's a four-way stop, right? And so this this part of the four-way stop, like, you can't go down this road. It's only a one-way for some reason right now because of whatever they're doing with it. And this is like backcountry roads, okay? And then but you also can't go, like, straight. Oh, I'm admitting guilt. I am admitting guilt. And so what I did is, they were like, "Oh, you can take a," like, they've got the signs for, like, a detour, right? And so I turn, and I don't take this detour. Like, I think it's dumb that people can't just stop a little bit further back and allow us people to go around, because you could do it, but they just have, like, one lane. Like, it's just out in the middle of the road for, to me, no apparent reason. I just think it's dumb that I would have to take a detour, okay? But I don't know where those roads go. I've never taken that way home or anything like that. So, I turn, and instead of taking the proper detour where there apparently is signs, which there are sometimes you take those detours because of road construction, and you're like, "Where the hell are the signs for the rest of the detour?" Right? And I'm gonna need maps to go home now. But there is, like, this area that's right kind of diagonal from where I am, because I 'cause I'm here, like, let's just say I'm here, okay? And I wanna go straight, but I have to turn. And so over here is this, like, field area. And so I turn like I'm gonna go take the detour, and they're in this little field area. They called it a field, but you can see a trail from this field that, like, people have driven that way. Like, it just looks like a dirt little road, in this field. So I thought, "Okay, I could go that way," right? Nope, not at all. So I get pulled over, and he's like, "You're not allowed to cut through the field." And I was like, "Well, where am I supposed to go?" And it had the little trail, like, you could drive that way. Like, that was an easy way to get, like, back there and get on the side of the road that I wanted to get to. And he said, "No, you have to, like, take the detour, and there are signs." And I said, "Well, where does that road lead to so that I can get back on this road?" And he was telling me, and I was like, "Okay," license, registration, all that stuff. So I give it to him, and all that, and I wait, which basically I'm, like, sideways in, like, a ditch. And so I I am at the point where I think I'm gonna have to go get an oil change, but I'm just now at the point where it says that I'm supposed to go get an oil change. I'm right there at that mark. Well, being like this in the car, in, like, the ditch area, like, made all I it just didn't equal out or whatever the oil in my car. So then my car, like, turned off. And then I was trying to get it to start up again and again, and I finally did when I was leaving, but I was like, "Oh my god, like, this is gonna suck if my car is stuck here." And I'm like, "No," I'm like, maybe a mile from my house at this point, and the cop comes back and he says, "Don't go through the field." No, I wasn't out of gas. I know that for sure. And my oil light was on too, so that's why I think it was the oil. And I said, I won't go through the field ever again. I will take the detour." And so that was my interaction. I am so glad I didn't get a ticket. It was just, you I was like, "I'm sorry. I did not know." But you handle it and you're just like, "Yes, I'm gonna go take it tomorrow and get an oil change." But I even, like, when I was looking, I was like, "Oh, I guess I need an oil change." But I think it was because my car was like this. And so everything maybe was on one side instead of my car being even. It was like this during the whole entire stop. I was hoping he would tell me to, like, go up and pull in somewhere, but like I said, it's backcountry roads. And so a ditch is about all you have for a while, which is not fun to roll into, if your car wants to do that. And so that is my story. I did not get a ticket. I was thankful. I think the guy was really like, "This girl has no clue." And I'm polite, like, I don't have an attitude. Maybe it is the fact it's the gas or something, like, I think my car being sideways for that long, it, um and I do not want a ticket from that town because the last time I got a ticket from that particular town, and it's a small, small town, not even a town, but whatever it is that I have to drive through, it's like a speed trap. Like, there's a speed trap at one point where it's like 35, um 35 at, like, the top of the hill, and then as soon as you get to the bottom of the hill, it's 30 miles an hour, and they will nab you. Then, on another thing, which I can't take this particular back road that I would normally take because there's construction there too, because there's construction everywhere, is another way I would take backwards. I I think I've told this story before, is that yeah. Yeah, the people drove in the field path because so many people drive it. It looked like a dirt road. I thought I could go that way. I didn't know I couldn't. It looked like I could, and that's why it was put there like that for me. And but I got stopped going 42, and I got pulled over right in front of the 40-mile-an-hour sign. And apparently because I hadn't passed the 40-mile-an-hour sign, which I would have been speeding 2 miles an hour over passing the 40-mile-an-hour sign. But because I was right in front of it, she it could be from the tractors and the road construction thing, but it was actually 35 and I was going 42 and I was like, "Okay, I saw the 40-mile-an-hour sign. I was gonna get up to like the 40 miles an hour." And Jesus, grunty pig. Um, that I got a 7-mile-an-hour ticket. And she's like, "Well, you haven't passed the 40-mile-an-hour sign." And that thing cost me for 7 miles an hour over was $173. I'm like, "That is ridiculous." And so they will pull you over. And this is why I cannot I drive slow. I drive the speed limit. Um, I follow the laws, and it's because I get pulled over for this I'm the person that gets pulled over for 5 miles an hour and stuff like that. And so that is it's just crazy to me because, like, I see people all the time who have, like, a lead foot, and they never get pulled over. Uh, so much stuff that happens and nothing. And I will get I will get pulled over. Now, I don't knock on wood, but I don't get tickets that often, but I do get pulled over a lot. My last vehicle, I had lights out all the time. I don't know what was wrong with that car, but I had to forever change my brake lights and, um, the back lights, my headlights, like, some light would be out all the time, and I get pulled over often. And so mm, that's so yeah, some people do that. Like, I have a clause, Robert, that, um, I can charge people for less than 24 hours, notice, if my clients cancel with me. I don't normally, because I've had to cancel a couple times and on people uh, and I also understand that life happens, but if you make it a habit, I definitely will charge you for, like, less than 24 hours notice. Most people are kinder, some aren't. Yeah, no, the only way for you to find out is if somebody notices it and somebody's like, "Hey," like, kinda like sometimes, "Oh, your tire looks a little low," or, "Hey, you have a light out back there," but usually it's somebody is honking at you and they're mad, and or a police officer pulling me over and is like, "Hey, one of your lights was out." But that was my old vehicle, and I was forever like, I would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go do this," and my lights were really hard to change, like, the way it was to get to the light, like, I couldn't really change it very well because we had to do all this stuff, and so I had to have, like, my brother or somebody else change it, and I couldn't exactly get to him all the time and change these bulbs, and it became like and I'm like, how many times have y'all's headlights gone out? Like, and you've had this car like, I would ask my mom, "How many times has your lights gone out?" Like, in the entire time that you've had this car, and I've had to change each light at least 3 times, like the brake light, and then my license plate light went out, and I'm like, "Really?" But I also in that car, it was weird too, I came back from vacation one year and I think the rear view mirror, it had fallen off. Like, I guess the heat had made it to where whatever the adhesive was that was keeping my rear view mirror on, it made it come off. So I had to have somebody re-glue my rear view mirror back onto my car. I'm like, "What did they" it's just that car was it was crazy. I loved that car. Um, my my car that I've had, that replaced that car, is the same brand, just different make, basically, because they have good warranties. Yeah, see, the turn signal, like, you know that your blinker, light is out or it's about to go out. And so but yeah, there's no and then there was times and that was one of the amazing things about my car that I have now is I didn't realize I was going to be but the lights, because they kept going out all the time, and so I didn't invest in, like, some crazy good lights. So I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go do all this stuff," and or I just buy a cheaper version because 'cause I'm like, "I don't wanna spend over $100 on some lights that are, like, good," and I just bought, like, normal lights for a vehicle, nothing, like, crazy spectacular because if I was gonna have to pay for another one in, like, 3 to 6 months, that exact same one, I don't wanna keep spending that amount. But when I got my car I have now, oh my god, the lights were amazing. Like, I was like, "Oh my god, I can see so far and wide." And they're the ones that I hate being in my eyes. They're, like, so bright, they're blinding. Um, because 'cause I'm like, "Dang, my visibility is bad." And I'm like, "Are my lights on?" It does not no, it wasn't an older car. I wanna say I mean, I guess it was older. I don't remember if it was like a 2013 or something. Um, and the fuses were all fine because I had that checked. So I don't know what was wrong. Something faulty something. I think it was 2013. Um, and it was like it didn't have very much mileage on it when I first got it. So I don't know what was up with that. Um, and then I've had air conditioning problems in like almost all of my cars, which I'm hoping that I don't with this one. But yeah, that's like my police story and my encounters with the police over the years. Like, and I would tell the police, I'm like, look, I have the bulb here that I need it to be put in. I have them do it. Like, I'd be like, "See, I just bought the bulb." And because I just got pulled over, like, yesterday. So I went and bought the bulb. And they pulled me over again. And, but my defense would have been, that I'm like, "If y'all go back and look at my name and times that y'all have stopped me, if that's logged somewhere, you will see that you stop me every so many months, and you will see that it is a different light almost every time you stop me. And there's going to be like just a timeline of events of all the times that you're like, I had to stop this lady because her light was out. Um, but and to end your Friday, I will share my grunty pig. You can see my grunty pig. She is tired. She's tired. She's got yucky apples. No, say hi to the peoples. Look. You don't want to say hi to the peoples? No. No. You want to say hi to the peoples? No. But you're a pretty girl. All right, I'll let you go back to sleep. All right. So that's my little girl. So cute and fluffy, but she's tired. No, she's a dachshund. She is my dachshund, but she snores, and so she is a grunty pig. But I didn't get a ticket. I was so glad I didn't get a ticket. I had a really nice snow vacation type thing. My grandson is going to be back, so lives or videos are going to probably come out slower within the next week or two if there's stuff that's happening. But I have really enjoyed being able to live stream and create so many videos this past week and catch up on shows that I like and stay warm and cozy, not work. I got to sleep in. So I really enjoyed my time. I know some people didn't like it too much, but it was such a nice little mini vacation being snowed in for me. And I want to thank y'all all for being here and listening to my ramblings and stories and keeping up with all these things that are going on in these different cases. So, as always, I will see you later. And every time there's an update, I will bring it to you. I may not be breaking news about it, but I will bring it and give my point of view on things. And I hope everybody has a great weekend and a great night. Bye.